Hi everyone, how are you? I am Rachel Chamness at Sound Waves Heal, and let's go live everywhere. How are you doing this morning? I will be trance-channeling today Archangel Ariel. So, I don't know if you've been tuning in this week, but you may have noticed I've been live every morning, Tuesday to today, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, which is New York time, and I'm trance-channeling each one of my spirit guides. And actually, not each one of my spirit guides, because I have hundreds of spirit guides, and so do you, but each one of my main spirit guides. And I wanted to show you how they help me and how yours can help you, because it is very important to know your spirit guides. And I wasn't quite ready. That little intro is faster than I thought, so let me just write this real quick. I wanted today to talk about the Master Teacher Guide. So, good morning. I see you all. Hi. Okay. So, good morning. Okay, I see everyone. So, hi, I'm Rachel Chamness. I'm at Sound Waves Heal, talking about spirit guides today. If you don't know me, I am a shamanic channel and mentor, and I help people trance channel, not just messages, but healing. I teach all types of channeling. I have a psychic Reiki healing course and light language courses as well. And I help light workers open their clairs, expand their channeling, and all of their modalities help you work with your modalities in a way that works for you in your own way and help you expand your gifts so that you can have a really unique offering and do your work full time. So that's what I love to do. So today I am talking about the Master Teacher Guide. Now, if you want to learn about your guides, I have this free guide right here, a free package, a free bundle of spirit guide information and just a get to know me package. It has a spirit guide masterclass that teaches you all about your guides and how to connect with them, how to communicate with them and things like that. And then it also has things like a unicorn attunement and lots of meditations, things like that. And it's a really great little package and it's free, so you can get that anytime. But this week I've just been kind of breaking it down, one inner band is what we call it, spirit guides at a time. So we have 5 spaces, 5 places of inner band guides, and each one has been with you since birth. And each one, except for one, the one we're doing today, each one actually only stays with you. You are their only charge. They have incarnated with you in this life to help you in this life. Every single one, they're only working with you. Even if you have someone there like Merlin or Jesus or some of these, guides that a lot of people have, it just means that you have an aspect of Jesus or an aspect of Merlin or Archangel Ariel or whatever to help you. And that aspect only helps you. Now there is an exception. There's the Master Teacher Guide. So your Master Teacher Guide is your main guide. When you hear people say, this is my main guide, this is what they're talking about, their Master Teacher Guide. And your Master Teacher Guide does have more than one charge. They will work with you and they can work with others as well. And they're also kind of the boss. They're in charge of your other guides. And when I bring through the Master Teacher in my Trance-Channeling class in level 1, when we bring them through with a group and everybody brings theirs through, then this is the one class where we don't really work so much on like an extra channeling or divination or extra kind of channeling. In this class, we really just focus on what's my light path? Like, what am I going to be doing? What will I be doing in the future? How can you help me now? What's my next step? That's the kind of thing we work on in that class with our Master Teacher. And that's what your Master Teacher can really help with, like your main plan, your whatever you're going to do in this life, like your light path. So I call it the light path. That just means that it's a path for you that makes you light up. Like it's just what you love to do. Like I love doing this, teaching people how to trance channel, teaching people how to open their clairs and come into spirituality or advance very quickly or become even more advanced. I work with very advanced clients as well. And that's what I love to do. So that lights me up. Now it's also my path. It's what I came here to do. And it also helps others. So those are the three parts of what I would call the light path. And you have one too. And if you don't know what it is, then it's time to find out. I help people with that. Or if, it needs some tweaking. Because we always need a little tweaking on our light path. I had to move my mic there. Okay. So today I'm channeling Archangel Ariel, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about that. When let me start over. Okay, when my master teacher came to me, she said, I'm Ruth. And now I knew I had a guide named Ruth. If you know my story, I was always trying to figure out who are my guides. And I would ask mediums all the time, like, just tell me who my guides are. And they never could tell me. They would say, I'm not getting it. Or they would say, you know what? I'm not supposed to tell you. And it was making me so mad. I mean, at this point, I'm in my 40s. Okay. And I'm just like, what is happening? Why can't I know my guides? And then what happened was, it's because it forced me to take a trance-channeling class. I took a class because I was just dying to know who my guides were. And because of that class, I have done all these things, including make my own class, which I feel is really complete and has everything in it that you need to really be successful. And so when I was trying to find out who my guide was, what I did was I just started calling her Mary because I didn't know what to call her. I knew she was there, and I knew she did things like mess with my clocks and stuff like that. So anyway, I went back to my, I guess she was like my mentor, and she said, hey, your guide is saying her name is not Mary, it's Ruth. Please stop calling her Mary. And I was like, woohoo, I know her name, it's Ruth. So when I did the master teacher, I had forgotten about that, but then Ruth came to me. So Ruth is Ruth from the Bible, if you want to say it that way. And I, didn't grow up all that religious, so I don't really know I read the Red Tent. That's about as much as I know about Ruth. Anyway, as far as the Bible goes, or like the story of her, but that's who it is. Historically, it is Ruth. And then one day I was teaching my students this was in the early days of learning how to upgrade your spirit guides, because I'm always learning more. We were upgrading our spirit guides, and Ruth suddenly became Archangel Ariel. And she told me, well, actually, at first I thought it was two different. I thought I had two master teachers, Ruth and Archangel Ariel. And it does feel that way because in each of their incarnations, they are slightly different. But it turns out that Ruth is Archangel Ariel. She says that that's her earthly life. When she was once a human, or a human on earth anyway, it was as Ruth. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to know. There's lots of angels who have a human life here. Officially in the Christian religion, there's only two, but that's not true. There's many. So I'm going to trance channel her. Of course, she's going to give you a message and a healing. And if you wanted to watch the rest of these, they are in a playlist on my Sound Waves Heal YouTube channel. And you can also, I'm pretty sure you can just find them on Sound Waves Heal on Facebook, or like in the past videos, so you should be able to find the other ones too. But anyway, let me bring in Archangel Ariel. Now, to trance channel an angel, it takes a lot of energy. So it might take me a few more minutes, especially it's 10 a.m. over here. I haven't had any coffee. I just got ready to come here for you guys. Even put on my lipstick. Okay, just for you. Here we go. Hello, I'm pleased to be well met here with you. Many of you know me, and I am so glad to be part of the known archangels in this time period. For I am always here to help you and to help you with your work. You may call on me at any time. And yes, I am a master teacher for this one. and you have a master teacher, or 2 or 3 maybe. Usually when you have more than one, it is the same as what this one has experienced, that we are higher incarnations of ourselves. For every soul has many incarnations, as you do as well. It is likely that you've been an angel, perhaps a deity, that you've been an elemental, of course. Of course you have. Why else would you be on this elemental earth if you have not been an elemental? Perhaps it was a long time ago, and perhaps it was recent. But your earth is an elemental earth. And so you will once again be among your elemental friends in the 5th dimension. And you will see them in their full glory. And angels, yes, we do not appear to you in the way that we look. We appear to you in a human shape to help you understand and not be afraid. As you have read in your historical documents, we have found that it is quite concerning when we show up in full sight of what we look like. And so we have learned to show ourselves as a more human-like feature for you. But it is no matter because we are source. And for those of you who say, why should I channel anything that is not source? Because everything is source. You are source. Your spirit guides are source. All is source. Even negative beings are source, playing their own role. However, you, when you channel, you will learn the proper ways to channel and stay in your sovereignty. You will learn how to be as safe as you can be. You will say the sentence this one teaches, I only work with beings of the highest light. And when you channel your guides, they are just a part of source. In fact, everything is such a part of source that it makes no difference. It is a part of source that holds a certain frequency that you are needing. For instance, I am the master teacher for Rachel, and I hold that space and that frequency of helping her with the light path. And this is very specific, so she will call on me for this instead of always calling on one source. And that is a great way in which other beings of light can help as well. You are looking for help with defeating obstacles in your quest for true sovereignty and abundance. Then you may call on Ganesh, who is well known for clearing away obstacles. And you see that is very effective. And it feels very good on the 3D, 4D human feeling plane. And so you have a master teacher who can help you well and wishes for you to know them. You may begin, if you are such a very beginner, to ask for a sign. If you are a channel, then sit in silence and call them forward. Ask them to tell you who they are. And I will give you a healing now to help you shine your light on this beautiful planet that you are on and in this beautiful life that you are inhabiting now. Hi everyone. It's me again. Obviously, I'm not quite as elegant as that, especially in speaking, as Archangel Ariel. And when she's Ruth, I'm like such a fangirl too. I mean, Ariel's one of my favorite angels. I can't remember which came first, her being my favorite or her being my master teacher. But, you know, Ruth, when I first saw Ruth, I wondered if she was a fairy. She was so beautiful. And she looked like, you know how you have this idea of like, if only I looked like this idea of like what would be the most beautiful way to look for yourself. And that's exactly what she looked like to me. She had like long red hair, just like beautiful, you know, features that go with red hair, I guess. And she was wearing this like light green, which is her color, Archangel Ariel's color, by the way, which is pretty funny. This light green dress, and she was all flowy, and she was so amazing. And I was just like, ooh, who is this? Wow, you know? And yeah, so I'm such a like fangirl when it comes to Ruth. I think she's really cool. But that was Ariel. So Ruth, it does have a little bit of a different personality when she comes through. And, you know, it's so interesting to watch trance channels. If you watch trance channels and you feel it, then that can signify that you can be a trance channel, or you're already a trance channel. You just need to learn how to do it. And that's pretty cool. Another thing is so when we channel anything, relay channeling, any kind of channeling, what it is that we have an energy signature, a wave, right? This is part of the reason why I call my business Sound Waves Heal. So you have a sort of wave, and the being you wish to talk to has a wave, and you want to match it. But it's still a wave. So sometimes when you see people like trance channel, they go in and out. You hear the voice of the other, or even see their face change, and then you'll see it flip back for a minute, and it sounds more like, oh, that sounds like Rachel again, and then it goes back. It's like sometimes even when you're trance channeling, you're going through, they're speaking through you, and then you're repeating for a minute, and then they're back. You know, sometimes people worry that if they learn trance channeling, that they will get stuck with the being in them, but that's not the case at all. It's much harder to hold them in, especially for a long time. So it's all a learning and a big practice. You know, it's all about practicing. Yes. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. If you didn't feel it, you can still learn to tune into it. Yeah, anyone can learn. When I teach trance channeling, and I talked about this in the live in 5D this week, and I can tag any of you in it, all you have to do is be able to bring forth a message in a meditation and be Reiki 1 attuned. And then the third thing is that I check with your spirit guides and with my spirit guides to make sure that you're totally ready to do it. It will cause no harm to you, that you're in a place where you can really do it well, because I really want to make sure that everyone who takes my class is going to do it well. I don't want you to be frustrated or feel like it's not working, or even come in going, oh, gee, I hope this works. Like if you're in, if I've approved you, qualified you for the course, then you're in. Don't worry about it. And you don't have to be super advanced either. I have lots of beginners who do it. In fact, Catherine, who's here, is a really good example of someone who was a very, very, very beginner. She took Reiki 1 with me, and then she took the big course, my signature course, which does start with trance channeling level 1 and goes through all the levels, but level 1, 2, and 3 at least. And I do have a level 4 too. That's not part of the course. But anyway, and now she's like incredible. Are you still here, Catherine? You're amazing. Oh, thank you, Kathy. So you like these? They are on replay, definitely. Maybe I will put them all together and make one big podcast or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if I have that kind of time, but I might do it. But yes, they are. And in fact, I just kept them in a playlist on YouTube. So it should be pretty easy to find. Oh, thank you, Catherine. And Catherine's starting her tag team special guest. She'll be on tag team starting soon. Speaking of tag team, for tag members, Missy will be live next at 11. Ariel's your angel guide too. That's right. Love it. She's pretty popular angel guide too. So, does anyone have any questions? So Heather, yes, you would totally be fine with this course. I've seen you channel. You were in my channeling class last weekend, and you were amazing. And you don't have to feel it, but once you start trance channeling, you will feel it when other people do it. You'll know when they're trancing and when they're not. I mean, I think for most people, maybe not everyone does, but if you do feel that feeling when you see someone trance channeling, then you know you're definitely you're definitely you're already trance-channeling. It's probably what it means. Because when I learned to trance-channel, I realized I was doing it all the time. I thought it was a total ditz. Like, people called me a ditz. Like, I felt like I was really like, because I have all that fairy energy. But it was really that I was going and, like, I was totally trancing. I might not have let them talk to me, but I was, like, somewhere else. And it's pretty crazy all the time. Yes, tingles are a sign. Jessica, definitely. Yeah. Oh, Teresa says, I'm trying to figure out who my angel is. And I asked my spirit guide, I heard Daniel. Daniel is a beautiful archangel. He's in charge of ascension with Metatron. And yeah, so that's great, Teresa. Yeah, so your master teacher isn't always an angel. Could be any kind of being. It's just that mine happened, well, you know, mine was Ruth and just happened to then upgrade to an angel. So you never know. One of the reasons that we don't remember when we channel is because it's not coming from us. So, like, if I were to ask you, Shauna, what should I do about, you know, my kid's school or something? And you were, like, just talking to me and you're like, oh, well, you know, as a friend, and you just gave me your advice, you would remember that. But if you were channeling, then it's not coming from your brain. It's, like, coming through you, and especially if you're trance-channeling. You're, like, barely there. So it's like you can kind of hold on to it for a little bit, but then it goes away. But luckily, my spirit guides usually remind me. Like, sometimes I can't remember anything about the last session when I work on someone, but their spirit guides will remind me what I need to know. And sometimes that's on purpose, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes they're like, remember this is what happened. They give me this whole, like, download, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, see, if your sun zones out all the time, you might be a channel. Yeah. Yeah, right? It's so funny. That's one of the reasons that I noticed I was a trance channel too, is because people were asking my advice and I was just giving them this incredible advice. And I was like a hot mess. Like, how in the world did I have any advice? And then I'd be like, where did that come from? That's really good advice. And why are people asking me for advice? That's what I felt like before. And someone said, you should be a coach. And I was like, really? And then that's right before I started finding out that I was a trance channel and stuff. You too, yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes the very best counselors, I'm sort of a counselor because I've learned so much from all these beings of light, and I mainly let them talk to me anyway. But is when you had a sort of crazy hot mess life, and then you learn to get through it, because, you know, that's kind of happens to most of us, right? I have kind of that hot mess that we have to get through. Oh, Kathy says I could feel Ariel as the healing was sung. That's nice. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. Oh, this is cool. I didn't see this. I love how each of your guides have a different sound to their healings. Me too. And you know what? Sometimes I'm like, I mean, does it always sound the same? And then play it back and it doesn't. And people are like, no, it doesn't always sound the same. Like, okay. And sometimes they're really different. Yeah. Heather says hot mess to not mess. Yeah, same. So if there's anyone out there who feels like they're a hot mess, then don't worry, there's hope for you. I am an Aquarius rising. I'm a Sagittarius, Aquarius rising, and Leo sun. Can you tell? Because I was an opera singer. You know, I was all over with the stage stuff, which helps for me to make lots of videos. But yeah, it was a good time. And I got some good news lately. I might start making some music to download. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm excited about that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. If you ever have more questions, you can, tag me and ask me a question, or you can just send me a message. That's totally fine. I'm happy to, point you in a direction. I have lots of free stuff everywhere, and I can send you to them, and if you want to learn from me, of course, reach out to me. I've got many programs. I can tell you where to start or what's best for you, where you should start. Especially a mini session, we could really dive in and see what would help you the most. And but I can always just send you to something, and like I have a lot of, I have a little video on my sessions page. Or is my sessions page? On my classes page, which is like, if you don't know where to start, then start with a mini session. Or if you don't have it, start with Reiki 1. Reiki 1 is a big up leveler, and it really will catapult you into a higher vibration. And it's also like a full beginner's course. You can learn about chakras, you learn about so much. And that I include like an abundance class and all kinds of stuff in there. Okay, well, I'm so glad you guys were here with me. Thank you so much. I do have Black Friday sales. You can see it here. If you don't get my newsletter, then you can go to my events page and find it. And I have a beginner's bundle, 50% off to like begin your journey. Or you can even upgrade. If you already have Reiki 1 or Light Language, you can upgrade those two to the advanced courses. And I have an advanced course, which is Trance-Channeling Mediumship. And it's 30% off. This is the one time you'll find it on sale. So if you'd like to learn about that, you can just sign up to be reminded with the wait list. And reach out to me if you want. So thank you guys so much. And I'll see you all, tag members. I'll see you in 30 minutes on Missy's live. Okay. Bye. Bye. See you later.